Discuss the existence of the limit as x approaches 0 of sine of 1 over x. So sine of 1 over x is a pretty cool graph. So let's try to not look at the graph first, but let's type it in so we can plug in some values. So the sine of 1 over x. Cool. So now let's see what happens what is f of 1? F of 1 is 0.84. And what do we want? We want to see as x gets closer to 0. So let's make that number closer and closer to 0. So what about 0.1? It's negative 0.54. Negative 0.50. So remember, what we're looking for is we want, as we're plugging in this number closer and closer to 0, we want to see if this gets closer and closer to a particular number. And it really doesn't look like it does, right? It's just all jumping around all over the place. And I think the same thing happens if we, from either side, if we made this a negative, of course that's the same, but it continues to just jump around all over the place. And so similarly, because it does not approach a specific number, this limit does not exist. Now, when we look at the graph, it's kind of crazy looking. This is always one of my favorite ideas, that you look at this graph and you call it infinitely oscillates in the middle. It just goes up and down infinitely fast in the middle. So it doesn't approach any specific thing. And that's so crazy because, I mean, look, you can plug in specific values and get specific numbers for any value, just not 0 itself, because at 0, it goes up and down infinitely often. And so when that happens, this is another example of a time when this limit does not exist. It does not approach anything at x equals 0 because it goes up and down infinitely often.